I couldn't get a straight answer as to exactly how many violations there were to make this none of this is comparable here. None of it whatsoever. I mean, to me, it definitely sounds like there's somebody you guys have in mind for this job, but will only take this job if they get a raise and they get full benefits.
Morning. Welcome back to Talking Racine. Oh, before we get into any other business, I want to do a shout out to Chicago. We've heard that there are people down there in Chicago that are viewing the show, and we'd like to say, the heck is going on? You guys are out of corruption? You need to watch us for your corruption fix?
We can't go handle the daily machine.
I don't know. We're doing all right, I think.
But we appreciate you. And, what we're doing here, I know is going on in other parts of the country where people are investigating local corruption. So, yeah, good on you guys and anybody else around the country that's watching. Anyway, back to the regular stuff.
Yeah.
George Myers on my left, Jim Spodek on my right, and I'm Dr. Ken Jorgen. Now, I got something here. Let me read this. This whole episode is a disgrace to the city of Racine, an insult to taxpayers, and a waste of money. It calls into question the judgment of the city attorney and his reasoning for pursuing such a misguided venture when he went before a closed session meeting of city aldermen in the fall of 2017. What do you guys write this?
Yeah.
Did you write this?
No, I didn't write it.
That actually came from our very own newspaper.
The Journal Times?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was amazing. Yeah, time to end the madness with city legal.
Welcome to investigative journalism, Journal Times.
Yeah. And here, I gotta read this sentence out of it because it's really good. It's something we knew. We knew. We didn't know all the emails that were expressed, but we knew some of them.
Yeah, most of them. But,
I think we were familiar with all. You're familiar with like a big body of emails,
right.
And which ones they picked as being like important. You don't really know. So.
Well, but this one here, it's that partial release. In other words, some of the emails are finally coming out. According to the Journal Times, has revealed mundane and inconsequential emails. And of course, why do defense? I mean, we knew that. We knew that the whole thing was just stupid. One of the things was a list of possible dates for a special election. Now, how is that secret?
That's
you talk about mundane and inconsequential.
Pretty sensitive.
But here's the thing: how ridiculous it is to keep it secret. But I keep going back to why. And here's my question.
Yeah.
Why is Corey Mason allowing this to continue? Because he did win, at some point, an open records award from the Wisconsin Open Records Council.
That's right. That was a couple of years ago.
A few years back.
Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering if it's open records is a issue that you take seriously, why are you allowing this to happen? There's my question. How do you allow Scott Letney, the city attorney, to continue this court case, spend the money, and now even the local newspaper, which I might say is a little behind the eight ball on this, but they did come out. Now it's in your own backyard.
No, that's a real good question. I mean, we suspect the reason it got started because they were suggesting an ethics investigation on Sandy Wider in the middle of a campaign in which she is a candidate for mayor.
It was a critical part of the campaign. It was in October. And the election was in November, right?
No, it was in September. It was actually August, late August, September, and the election was October 17th, 2017.
Oh, okay. But
it was
like 30 to 50 to 45 days.
Definitely.
People were questioning, well, should we really be voting for her as mayor if she has ethics problems?
But here's where, George, stop right there. Okay, so let's go back to Corey Mason and John Dickert. John Dickert resigns, and Corey Mason walks up.
Okay, there is somebody here that would like to say a few words. So, State Representative Corey Mason.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you to John Dickert for his service and tenure as mayor of the city of Racine. I'm here today to announce that I intend to run for mayor when the vacancy opens up this summer.
Just happened to be walking down a hallway in
so
City Hall.
What I'm saying is, Scott let me know. I mean, he knows everything. He sees everything. That's
Yeah.
his. The ordinance states that the attorney knows and understands all city business and is in control of all city business. So he has to know everything. So how much does Scott let me know about that change of guard, you might call it?
Yeah,
that
that
happened?
transition.
Oh, you mean on the plan transition?
Yeah.
The way it was staged?
So now why are we protecting
It's
Scott
definitely
Letney?
orchestrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, here we are. We're protecting Scott Letney. Corey Mason's, I mean, literally, he's protecting him. You've got the Wisconsin Open Council. You've got, I mean, for crying out loud, you got one out of Capital Times in Madison saying, I've been doing open government for 56 years. I've never seen,
This takes the cake.
this takes the
Yeah.
cake. I mean, how far does it have to go before they say,
More than
Scott,
half a century
right?
of investigating this kind of stuff, and this case in Racine to him is extraordinary.
And one of the things that come up is, well, it's hard to fire a city employee. Well, I don't know. He just got rid of his city, the secretary that worked under him with no problem. She scampered out the door. So how hard is it to get rid of Scott Letney? I'm telling you, there's way deeper things here going on.
Well, yeah, and Scott Letney is more integral to everything going on over at City Hall than that secretary was.
Correct.
She was a typical city employee, though, that you'd expect. Just very non-political, just doing her job. And most of the city jobs are relatively simplistic. They're not complicated engineering jobs and stuff like that. That's all. If it comes to the city, it gets put out as a study. You know, it's not like the private sector that really has to solve these problems on their own. So, but the point is that. So she was just doing her job as a receptionist, and taking messages and passing them on, and doing her work. And they give her her walking papers.
Yeah.
So why isn't Scott Letney getting his walking?
Scott Letney is involved with a whole bunch of political stuff.
Okay.
And it might be a little risky, giving him his walking.
My best advice as a senior citizen, I mean, we're all senior citizens now, Scott, just leave. I mean, this thing could get really ugly for you. And I would suggest that you just cut your losses, hit the door.
I'll tell you what, I don't think it's going to be ugly for Scott Letney. I think it's going to be ugly for Corey Mason. Because I'll tell you what, my gut feeling says Letney went to Mason and said, if you get rid of me, you're coming down with me.
Whoa.
That's what I think happened back there. I don't have any proof of that. But I'm going to tell you, nobody's covering anybody's.
Well, you've
rear
watched
end.
enough crime movies, it probably makes
Doesn't
sense.
take much sense. It doesn't. That ain't a far stretch.
Jeez.
Well, I think it's time for him to go.
Absolutely.
I mean, when the Journal Times even sees it, there's no need for him to hang around. I mean, he's mucked things up enough, and we don't really need all this secrecy. He should just go. Who was it that preceded him? What was that gal that?
Larson.
You mean
Nicole
Larson?
Larson,
Yeah, the assistant.
She just left.
She left.
She was knee deep in Machinery Row, right?
Absolutely.
With the whole relocation stuff. She just said, "Okay, time for me to go." She's up there in Milwaukee now. She's doing fine up there. She's got her pension.
That doesn't mean that none of this is all going to come back at some point. But the thing is, when I just
he should just go. I mean,
he should go. But why is Corey not saying go?
That I could see a problem. I could see
Loyalty?
Yeah,
It's probably true.
that type of thing.
It's a
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you laugh.
strange bedfellows.
Oh, boy.
All right, what's the next?
Let's have item 2, increased pay to municipal judge.
Oh, wow. That's
The municipal judge, I mean, until just, Friday? It was Rebecca Mason?
Well,
She
she's still. I
left
think
on
she's. Well, yeah, I think you're right.
22nd of February, I think.
Yeah, I
She
think
said
you're
she
right,
was
yeah.
not going to vacate the position. So now they're
Crime's going to run wild.
Yeah. So now they made a proposal into City Council to increase the judge pay from $53,000 to $60,000.
Let me play a video.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah,
Let me play
do
this.
that.
The communication from the mayor and president of the common council regarding the temporary appointment of the municipal judge to discuss pay and benefits and the process of identifying candidates. The recommendation was to raise the salary of the municipal judge to $60,000 a year plus benefits and be eligible for cost of living increase. I move to approve. Alderman Neatmore. Thank you, Your Honor. I would actually, at this time as well, like to make an amendment to this motion. Please proceed. I would like to amend to increase the salary of the municipal judge to $67,000 a year, as opposed to $60,000.
Now, first of all, right at the beginning of his little talk there, he said this is for a temporary replacement.
Right.
Now, let's just take that in consideration. This is a temporary thing. This is not somebody that's going to go on and be there now for the next 4 years or something like that.
Oh, come on, you know better than that. I mean, Rebecca Mason was a temporary replacement.
Well, I'm going to take him at his word, though. This is a temporary replacement.
Right.
Then there's going to be an election for 4 years. As long as it's just a temporary election, and if Rob Weber goes in, I mean, he might just want to do it just temporarily for a holdover. Although I'd like to see him in there for a long time. I think he'd be an excellent judge.
No. He's ready to. He's ready to retire.
All right, well, whatever. But point is, he said it's a temporary replacement. That's a good time to just leave it the way it is.
Right.
It's just short term. You know, and not only that, but it's brought out in another part of the discussion. We may get to it, that there's people lined up for this job. We got so many candidates that we have to figure out how we're going to sort it down and get it down to a workable number.
When it was actually less than this, there were 6 candidates.
Well, I understand that you actually do not have to be an attorney to be the municipal judge.
Yeah,
so all 3 of us could submit applications.
Yeah, well, yeah. All I'm saying is they're lined up to take this $50,000 job.
Right.
Anybody understands anything about economics, you know, supply and demand, you know, you don't need to raise any pay to get good people when you already got an excess in supply.
Well, if somebody's talking about a short-term holding of an office, I mean, I think what you're ending up with is people that are probably on the far side of their career, their employment career, and they just want to give something back to the community. So it's like, I'll come in and I'll be the municipal judge until you elect somebody, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
And I agree with you. Why the hell do you have... There's no point in raising the pay.
That's number one. And number two, that I know comes up in the discussion a little later on, this is not, you know, this is just whenever, you know. You make changes like this at budget time. Right. When you sit down and see what money is available, how are we going to spend
it? Do we have a problem filling that position? If we do, maybe we have to give us more raise or benefits or whatever.
It wasn't too long ago that we shut off a whole bunch of people's streetlights for $80,000.
Right.
You know, now we're just throwing around another 10,000 like here, like it's nothing.
17.
Well,
so try and get a road fixed for $5,000, and you swear to God you're drawing blood out of a turnip, you know, trying to get that $5,000.
Pulling teeth out of a
Well, here's the thing: it went in, and the recommendation was to do $60,000. Now he comes back and make a recommendation that, well, let's go up to $67,000. Let's increase it to $67,000. We're going to add benefits. So now we've got a $60,000 job that was $53,000. Now it went to $60,000. Now it's going to be $67,000.
So it's $14,000 more plus benefits.
Correct.
Which is a 25% increase, just about. Yeah.
Probably closer to 30. Yeah. Let's go.
I really think we are in a position now to begin to set up this position for future success by creating an environment in which they will be more inclined to make this a full-time opportunity.
Future success? What?
The judgeship.
The judge is successful when you process arrests. I mean, what?
Well,
I don't know what the heck he's talking
very
about.
successful municipal judge.
Yeah.
Oh, really? How do you measure his success? Just see how many people he puts in jail, man.
Does he mean by that you retain somebody?
I don't know.
I tell you the key word there: set up. This is a set up.
Okay.
When he says we have to set up, that's exactly it. Set up.
Let's see what else he's got to say.
Appropriate that we are doing this before we are getting candidates submitted for this, or the majority of candidates submitted for this, so we are not being put in a position where we are identifying this for any specific person. I want this to be as fair and reasonable as possible, and I want to make sure we get the very best candidates possible for this as we move forward.
You know, there it is. There, you know, we just got to get the very best.
Yeah.
No, we got people lined up to do this.
Right.
The money isn't going to change the number of people there, except maybe make more people.
We're not going to do this for one specific individual. That's exactly what you're doing.
Well, when you deny it, I mean, that's you're pretty much tipping your hand as far as I'm concerned.
This guy's not a poker player.
Yeah.
No way. Oh, my God. You know, it's like, dude, we know you're setting it up for who? We just need a name, that's all.
I have no intention of being the host of this show.
Okay, we got Jeff Cole.
Oh, good.
I'm not supporting this item. We had this meeting last week, and I think the amount was $52,000 that the judge makes, and I offered to go up to $60,000. I wasn't wanting someone to run just because benefits are added to this, and I thought $60,000 was a nice compromise, and where this should be done is during the budget, any kind of raises after.
Or is it just beyond that? What's at the floor right now?
67,000.
Well, I think he was content with it was 53. He's saying 52, but I mean it's just lost in the conversation. But he wasn't really supporting an increase at all. But he went into a compromise. Okay. If you guys really want to give him more money, we'll take it to 60, but no benefits.
Well, Jeff is out of the loop. He's not in the loop. He might be in that meeting, but they don't know who it is. Either Corey or Letney have the municipal judge already lined up. So it's just that Jeff, we need you to vote this way. And of course, well, I'll go to 60. I mean, he maybe got a little inkling in there. Maybe something happened, twinkle. But
Corey and Letney, in other words, have their person already picked out.
And they got
Probably,
Mi'kmaq laying the groundwork as head of the common council. He's just doing what he's told.
Jeff, we need you to take the lead on this item.
Right.
Can you do that?
You're going to be a leader.
And we want to get our friend another $10,000.
Right. Well, he's probably been told, I'm not taking that job unless I can make it full time. I got to have I got to feed the family. It's not a part-time job.
Okay, I'm not opposed to this. Once again, we just did our budget, but we really don't have all the numbers. Intelligent decision on this. They're talking about the judges' wages in Green Bay. 105,000 people in Green Bay, when the city sits with approximately 78,000 people. I'm talking about Kenosha, 100,000 people. Milwaukee, 600,000. We're not doing comparables here. Sheboygan and Kohler, 51,000 people. We're not doing comparables here.
To compare us with, like Carrie points out, they're just somebody's throwing out figures to make an excuse, and this is the way it always goes. We got to say something. We can't just give them a raise. We have to show some reason for it.
Right. And most
even
of
though
them
it's stupid reasoning, and most people don't even investigate.
They don't even blink an eye.
There's a reason. Oh, all right, let's do reason. Okay.
Let's see what else she's got to say there.
Let's get some of these statistics. Let's find out what's really going on here. And, we get 10 to 12,000 violations. I couldn't get a straight answer as to exactly how many violations there were.
That's an interesting statement. I couldn't get a straight answer.
So apparently the numbers were there, the numbers we wanted to give you, but the real answer I can't get.
No, couldn't get an exact number.
And who would you be looking for that straight answer from?
Well, I'm assuming the municipal court.
Well, or the city attorney.
Or the city attorney.
I mean, because the city attorney had made statements here on this.
Right, well, he was supposedly giving out that information again.
Well, that data should go through the city administrator, too. There's a lot of people that would have that data. That's not a secret.
That data is,
believe
me, if you owe a
supposed
ticket,
to be secret.
Yeah.
Listen, you owe a ticket, they're going to find you. And if they can find you, they know what data that is. Not that difficult.
To make this none of this is comparable here. None of it whatsoever. I mean, to me, it definitely sounds like there's somebody you guys have in mind for this job, but will only take this job if they get a raise and they get full benefits.
So, bingo, hey? Yeah.
She thinks you guys have got somebody already in mind.
So do we,
just trying to give them a
So do we all, Glenn. We think there's somebody in mind, too.
Yeah. Wonder who it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was basically Rebecca, the mayor's wife, was the setup last time.
She was the chosen one.
Right. Now, who's the chosen one this time? I mean, again, it goes back to, family, friends, let's get them all hooked up to the gig. It just...
Make sure everybody's making lots of money.
Yeah.
At taxpayers' expense. Keep the streets dark. Keep the holes. Keep the potholes there.
Right. Well, anyway, the motion failed here.
It did. It did fail, and
then they amended it, and it failed again.
Yeah.
So that's good. I noticed that there were 4 aldermen that were excused at the meeting.
Right.
John Tate, McCarthy, Perez, and Morgan-Ross all were absent for this meeting.
Right. So would that have changed?
Who knows? What was the vote? 7-4. So had they all voted, yes.
Well, Morgan-Ross
would have changed it.
He would have voted for whatever they told him. McCarthy would have voted for whatever they told him. Tate, more than likely. I mean, Perez.
I think he's the one,
been a lot
one
closer.
shot that we would have that
Yeah.
he might vote against us. So it might have been 8-7.
Yeah.
It would have won
But
or
anyway,
lost by one, probably.
Yeah, well, it would have lost by still lost.
I mean, it's not over. Believe me, it's not over. They got to set this guy up, so it's coming back. It won't go.
Well, speaking of wages, I mean, it's not just the municipal judge that they want to give a raise to. It's several other employees, and we covered this a little bit last week, talking to you about the part-time schedule. Some of these people are, what, 14, 15, 16 years old?
in the living wage.
Yeah, you have to be able to support a family at 15 years old.
And I cannot believe that we are proposing a livable wage for 14 and 15-year-olds. That is not what we should be doing.
But do we have any hardship cases here that we're talking about?
No,
I mean,
not at all.
what
I
the
mean,
hell
we're
is this
talking about referees at the basketball games. We're talking about kids at this main gallery, which is a kind of a artwork program, you know. We can kind of read the list here. A lot of part-time employees of the city that have gotten probably $10 or more now increase from a 30% increase. Now, granted, it's a couple $100,000, but like George, you said, they're shutting off streetlights at $80,000. We got to save money, but now we're
Yeah, but nothing given a person who's just part-time, just getting a little extra money.
Right.
Didn't take this job because he's got to pay the rent. You know,
Well, he's going to be a basketball. He's going to be a referee.
Yeah, referee. Yeah, that's what you see. You see some referees. I mean,
and it's part-time, so you know you're talking a couple $1 a week for a lot of these people. I mean, is it going to make a difference in their life? Come on.
It's silly, and the mayor gets up there and makes a big deal out of it.
Well, you got to remember.
Well, I want to make sure everybody who works for the city has a living wage, can support a family. Wow, I mean, you know, lost is the economics of it. Lost is the penalty the taxpayers are paying for it. You know, paying for it. It's the $198,000.
All of these things added up together. You know, I mean,
That's right.
You know, and we get 10,000 here, 20,000 there, a couple million over there. You know, and pretty soon you're really increasing the burden on the taxpayers.
That's right. And there's this false economics that if we give these people money, they go out and spend it, and therefore that's going to boost the economy.
But the other thing we have to keep in mind is that we need to figure out ways to keep our youth here and keep them interested and put them on the path of having work skills, et cetera, et cetera. Now, as you all know, electronics aren't cheap. And when you deal with 14, 15-year-olds, they need to have a couple extra dollars too. And that helps to stabilize the local economy. It also increases sales tax by increasing consumer spending by the youth. So this is something that's good. It's imperative that we support this and that we move it right along.
No, I have to tell you the truth. A lot of them are connected to somebody that worked in the city. So I got this job, go get that job at the city because, there's always a connection. And that's okay, it's fine. But these aren't life-supporting.
To say that's going to stabilize a person,
contribute to the local economy?
Yeah, no, it just doesn't work that way. What we need is a good, robust economy right here, where when people do graduate from high school and are ready to go into a full-time job, and want to have a good one that they can support a family on, that's the type of job you really need. You don't take a basketball coach or a referee or a playground leader or something like that and say we're going to make that a livable wage.
Right.
Also, about the budget. The budget is made annually on projections, and it can be changed every 2 weeks, or as someone send an amendment through to change the budget in a 2 or 3 week cycle. So what we have on a budget is just a picture, a snapshot, a roadmap, a plan for what we plan to do.
Now, if you're very irresponsible and unethical with the budget, and you're just playing with people's money and not really, just want to look good, then you do that. You just change it whenever you feel like it.
Change it every 2 weeks or whenever you feel like it? Why do you even write one then?
Why have a budget that's going to be changed every 2 weeks? The budget should be, I understand it can't be cast in stone. Emergencies come up.
I just throw the cash in a file cabinet, and when you need something, go and take it.
Giving a 14-year-old a $3 an hour raise is not an emergency. That's not the type of thing you do midstream. this whole budget process has been lost here in Racine. I mean, it's like it's bad enough that most people don't understand the budget, but when you start just abusing it like that and just ignoring it, just change it when you feel like it. Oh, yeah, I feel much better if we can give this 14-year-old a $3 an hour raise while he goes out and paints a bridge. You know, this is not so that you feel good. This budget has a higher purpose than that.
And as long as we're in debt, I mean, we're roughly $100 million in debt.
Okay, yeah.
As long as that's going on, why are we throwing our money around so frivolously?
We, this council, can change it any time we choose to if we see the need.
This would be a perfect segue into the Foxconn thing here.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because the statement from them is, we're building the airplane while we're flying and redesigning it. So when we see all of these changes that are coming down, that are being reported in the newspapers and business journals and so on and so forth, I mean, we had this image of what Foxconn was going to be presented to us.
Right.
And
the
it's
layout.
completely, you know, gone.
Yeah. Well, I want to bring up a point. QA is on the county board, head of finance. In the city of Racine, head of finance. Mr. Foxconn.
How could there be a problem?
That's what I mean. This guy's talking about playground workers with $3 an hour. That it's essential that we get them a raise, and we've got to open up the budget to do it.
Yeah.
This guy's going to operate. This is who they're negotiating with. This is who is part of the county board.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, anyway, Foxconn is in flux. It's FluxCon now. I mean, there's all of the things that we've been told and led to believe were going to be the foundational design for this program is completely out the window. Now they're just flying by the seat of their pants, as per the statement of the Vice President of Business Operations.
Yeah. No.
So,
yeah.
You know.
That's an amazing statement, you know, considering how they went into it and exactly what they were going to be doing and why they needed all this property and all that. Now all of a sudden, it's just, well, whatever comes up.
Yeah, I can understand if you're baking something in the kitchen, you know, and you're selling tacos out the back door, and you maybe change the taco recipe because you got a deal on ground chicken instead of ground beef this week. But we're talking about billions and billions of dollars here that are being projected.
People's
lives. I'm going to tell you, I think it's more of a just to satisfy, because there's been so much negative press, they have to come out with something. Hey, we're working on this. Don't worry about it. You know, this is how we do it. And you know, we're way ahead of what's going on. That these Bloomberg and all the rest of the major
all the naysayers.
Yeah, those naysayers.
Them negativists over at Talking Racine.
Right. Yeah. Well, we've got some pretty good. Company now. You know?
Well, I think that did you have a couple of items that you wanted to bring up, or have we kind of like
we actually we covered it, you know, in our regular thing, yeah. So we did.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, I think we've kind of done it for today, then, huh, gentlemen?
We're good.
Yeah. So you guys down in Chicago, spread the word out to Evanston. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next Monday.